The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Delta variant confirmed in the Bahamas. It's now the predominant variant in the country. The BPSU threatening a shutdown of PMH and airports, and it's Advanced Poll Day. Today we're talking with IRCA about the rules involving broadcasting and broadcasters on polling days. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, September 9th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we are going to be talking about insurance. We're going to be talking about their Insurance Week events coming up for CG Atlantic. That's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Ministry of Health announcing that the highly transmissible Delta variant of concern has been confirmed and is currently the predominant variant in the Bahamas. The National Reference Laboratory sent 98 COVID-positive samples to the FIO Cruz lab in Brazil for genomic sequencing. The ministry says the samples were collected between May 6th and August 8th from individuals on New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Andros, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Bimini. Of those samples, according to the Ministry of Health, 39 came back positive for the Alpha variant, which was first identified in the United Kingdom. 41 came back positive for the Delta variant, which was first identified in India, and 1 came back for the Gamma variant, which was first identified in Brazil. The remaining samples are still going through the testing process, but the new sequencing results confirm that Delta is the predominant variant here in the Bahamas, followed by, of course, Alpha and then Gamma. The ministry also saying that it's noteworthy to mention that the Alpha variant is more transmissible than the original COVID virus, and the Delta variant is known to be more transmissible than the Alpha variant. The ministry also saying that consequently all major health facilities in New Providence and Grand Bahama are experiencing increased numbers of cases, hospital admissions, and deaths due to COVID. It also said that the healthcare system of both the public and private sectors is now severely challenged and overburdened, and as a result, non-COVID cases requiring healthcare are at risk of not being able to access life-saving healthcare. The ministry said, given the predominance of the highly transmissible variants in the country, it's essential to seek medical care early and avoid home remedies that delay accessing medical care. It says you must contact your healthcare provider or nearest public health clinic for more information. In other news, the Bahamas Public Services Union is threatening to shut down Princess Margaret Hospital and airports across the country unless the government negotiates outstanding industrial agreements. While expressing concern about the threat to the airports, Director of Aviation Algernon Cargill yesterday dismissing claims that the airport authority was not negotiating with the union. About 24 union members demonstrated outside PMH near the Queen's Staircase yesterday over the outstanding industrial agreements. BPSU President Kimsley Ferguson says the union has been trying to get the agreement signed with the airport authority and the Public Hospitals Authority for, quote, forever. He said, quote, we are Ferguson also says that it appears that if there's no reasoning, and that the Bahamas Public Services motto is reasoning together accomplishes. And so in order to be able to reason, you have to be able to get an audience. And declaring once again that the PLP is a party of corruption and scandal, Prime Minister Dr. Jimenez warning residents of Abaco that if they re-elect the PLP, they would never, ever get funds for Hurricane Dorian relief. The Prime Minister suggesting that the money would go missing. Overseas, civil defense forces carrying rifles and health workers wearing gas masks and red hazmat suits paraded in North Korea's capital in a celebration of the nation's 73rd anniversary. That was a marked departure from past militaristic displays. The parade late Wednesday, overseen by leader Kim Jong-un, wearing a cream suit and visibly slimmer than at the start of the year, centered around paramilitary organizations and public security forces protecting the capital, Pyongyang, instead of the military units that handle the most important weapons in Kim's nuclear and missile arsenal. In January and last October, North Korea rolled out its most provocative strategic weapons, threatening Asian rivals and the American homeland, but there was no immediate indication the latest parade showcased ballistic weapons. Thursday's state media coverage of the event that began late Wednesday indicated its message was aimed at a domestic audience. Sports. Make that 10 straight wins for Jonquel J.J. Jones and the streaking Connecticut Suns. They picked up a convincing win, drubbing the Dallas Wings 83-56 in Arlington, Texas on Tuesday in WNBA action. The 10 straight wins are the franchise's second longest winning streak, and their longest being a 12-game win streak back in, beating now that win streak back in 2006. Jones, who was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week for fourth time this season on Monday, finished with 11 points and 7 rebounds to go along with 3 blocks. And what was to be a routine MRI to check on the extent of a hamstring injury for Bahamian professional basketball player Zane Knowles turned out to be a life-threatening condition after he was diagnosed with a rare arteriovenous fistula, an AVF, in his thigh. Knowles made the announcement via his social media account. He signed with the Hungarian club in July after a stint in Turkey last season. Knowles speaking about this in today's Guardian Sports section as well. Well, you can read what he had to say in today's Guardian Sports section. Hope he gets better soon. And for the fourth time in 5 years, only missing 2020 because of the threat of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Houston Rockets of the NBA are back in the Bahamas, coming on the heels of a successful Big Three debut with their playoffs and championships right here at Atlantis. The resort welcomed another group of sports professionals this week, proving that sports tourism in the country is booming and contributing to the overall economy. The big games might no longer be there, but they are the big names at least, but they are professional basketball players nonetheless. Second-year forward Sean Tate expressing his excitement about it on Twitter. The Rockets' official training camp doesn't get underway until September 28th in Houston, 5 days before the league's first preseason game and 3 weeks before the regular season tip-offs. The Rockets are looking at gathering this week in the Bahamas as a head start on team chemistry, synergy, and familiarization. They're also scheduled to engage in pre-camp workouts here in the Bahamas this weekend. More on this in Guardian Sports as well. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Time for your first look at weather for today. We've got high pressure producing light winds over the country, while moderate sea swells are impacting northeast to eastern shorelines. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along East Coast beaches, and mariners should be alert for waterspouts or funnel cloud activity. Everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities and remain hydrated as we're expecting another day with triple-digit heat indices. For all areas today, your forecast calls for partly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Winds light and variable at less than 10 knots, seas 1 to 3 feet, but building up to 8 feet in moderate east to northeast swells. As we said, another hot day expected. Look for highs getting up to 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. But that heat index will be up to 105 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have the extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bf.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Email us even, morningblend@nasguard.com, or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. It's 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I am Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne Gardner, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you are doing well.
Yes, I am.
It's going to be an interesting day.
Yeah.
For us here on the show. And
yes, we'll have to be very careful and tread lightly.
Oh my! Everybody here at Guardian Radio and all over the media. It's Advanced Polling Day, and that means, because we still have this policy in place, that we're not allowed to discuss political anything. We're not allowed to play any of those political ads, those fancy jingles or songs that have been made for the candidates. None of that.
Well, what if I sing them? Can I sing them?
I mean, like a lot of them have taken people's songs, already hit songs, but now they're associated with the candidate. I mean, nothing can stop you from singing a song if they are singing that they are. I don't know, if their song is Mr. Loverman and you start and you start singing it, no one can say that's related to that.
Right.
All right. I think anyway.
You're gonna have to guide me because I may mess up here.
We'll keep you under control. But hey, we're going to talk about this with Urca this morning. CEO Carlton Smith is going to be with us. They can't be blamed for this. It's nothing to do with them. It's nothing to do with the government. It is.
Then who can I blame?
Look in the mirror, and then point. And that's not just for you, Laver. That's for
I know.
everybody in the country.
Wow.
We all, mainly the collective media, but also the public.
Right. The public
has
as well.
And if you,
So which document do I need to sign? Who do I need to call to say that this is just, I don't even understand the logic. At this point, if people are going to do what they have to do, how is a commercial going to suddenly influence them? I don't know.
right, and then we're going to talk about that with Carlton because you know, you'll hear. I want him to confirm because people can say, "Oh, you're just saying that," but no.
Right.
I mean, Guardian Radio and Guardian Media Group had. We have regular meetings. All of us, the media houses, have regular meetings with Urca, and in one of our last before the pandemic, this came up again. Adjusting the code. It's a code that is a collective that we all agree to. We input in the code. We say this is how we feel about certain things, and this is what we feel should change. Right. So it comes down to the majority saying that this is what we want. And the Guardian Group, definitely, I was part of that, put forth that this is crazy, especially on advanced poll days. This makes no
I
sense.
stand with Guardian.
It doesn't
I
make
don't know
sense
that
because
makes a lot of difference, but I stand with Guardian because this does not make any sense to me. In actuality, I would think that these are the days that the media really is talking and discussing and analyzing.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what happened. So we said that, and you know, some of the other media groups, like, well, we don't see what the big deal is. It's not a problem for us. Like, what now? What now? What now? What now?
We're being censored here.
I don't know if I'd say that, but they're also blocking themselves. I mean, there are no political ads that can run.
Well, I just, and when Carlton Smith comes on, I'm sure he'll be better able to explain it because from my standpoint, I don't even understand how this came to be. But, so I'm open to hearing why, the reasoning, what is behind the reasoning? Why? That would be good so that maybe I can get that perspective and, I can be like, oh, okay, I see.
Well, it's going to be based on something from decades ago when, when we thought, I don't know, a lot of people were more easily influenced, which they are, but still. Again, a case could be made for the general election. Right. And by then, the ad should stop anyway, right? Yeah, you don't need this nastiness on the day. Maybe a case could be made. I don't know if I entirely agree with that, but a case can be made. But on an advanced poll day, on a referendum day, on a like a by-election day, you trying to tell me that there's one constituency voting and we have to stop talking about stuff because of that? None of that makes any sense.
Right.
And so again, we will need and I remember making this appeal last election or last referendum day, and I said that we need the public to be more vocal about it, but we get distracted by a lot of things.
Right.
And
well, Guardian Talk listeners, we are calling on you to make some noise about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, because we're here from now until 10.
We are, and the station goes on.
The station is
live programming till tonight till 8 p.m. So imagine everybody. Many of the other hosts tell me they're planning on playing music and talking about songs. So
wow.
So comedy routines. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know.
But there are other issues in the country, and so
absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe.
But this is the. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's the height of the time. This is the most exciting time for some people. This is what they live for.
Yeah, but when this is what you talk about, you talk about this leading up to the time and during the time and after the time. And so you discuss, and
Yeah. All right.
Okay
So
then.
I see some messages people saying again, IRCA cannot be blamed
Right,
for
right.
this. This is all of us, the media and the public, and we
Because
do need to make.
this was some sort of established rule prior to IRCA, right?
Well, we'll let Carlton explain it
Okay.
on that part.
Okay.
But again, the code is adjusted, and it has come up whether this needs to be changed.
How could this, if the
Our
code has
partners
been
don't.
adjusted, how could this not be adjusted?
I tell you, some of our media competitors
They say no big deal.
try to
Okay.
maybe stifle us on the hottest days.
Ugh.
I don't know if we should take it personally like that, but
I'm
they
taking it
play
personally.
music. They play music, and it's not a big deal to them. Nothing's
Right.
going to change.
But when you have a news talk radio, if that is the essence of what your radio station is,
Right.
it puts you in a and I'm sure because this isn't the first time that Guardian and other news talk radios have been able to I'm sure you've been able to successfully navigate around it, but I'm just thinking, why should you have to?
Yeah.
Why should you have to?
It's odd.
We
It's odd.
should be able to have these kinds of discussions and talk. And yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you think about talk radio before Guardian Radio came, I mean, there were music stations that had one, maybe two talk shows sprinkled throughout their lineup. So, and they took the holidays off. They took, well, not I'll take holidays off, but they took whole weeks off at Christmas or around Easter, right? It was a very different type of thing, almost casual in the way it was done. And this is what we do all the time. So it's been different. And before, I think it was easy to say, hey, yeah, that's fine. We could take a day off there. We could do something different. But for us, it can't continue like this. So change is needed. But we're going to get into that a lot in a bit. So there are big developments when it comes to COVID, and the big headline in the Nassau Guardian today, not a surprise to anyone, I suspect, but Delta finally confirmed here.
Right.
It's now the predominant variant in the country as well. Our Jasper Ward writing about this. The Ministry of Health announcing yesterday that the highly transmissible Delta variant of concern has been confirmed and is currently the predominant variant in the Bahamas. The National Reference Lab sent 98 COVID positive samples to the lab that specializes in this, Fiocruz or FIO in Brazil for genomic sequencing. The ministry says the samples were collected between May 6th and August 8th from individuals on New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Andros, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Bimini. Of those samples, according to the ministry, 39 came back positive for the Alpha variant, first identified in the UK. 41 came back positive for the Delta variant, first identified in India, and one came back for the Gamma variant, which was first identified in Brazil. The remaining samples are still going through the testing process. So the ministry says this new sequencing results confirm that the Delta variant is the predominant variant in the country, followed by Alpha and Gamma. And, quote, it is noteworthy to mention that the Alpha variant is more transmissible than the original COVID virus, and the Delta variant is more transmissible than Alpha. Consequently, all major health facilities in New Providence and Grand Bahama are experiencing increased numbers of cases, hospital admissions, and deaths due to COVID-19. The healthcare system of both the public and private sectors is now severely challenged and overburdened, and as a result, non-COVID-19 cases requiring health care are at risk of not being able to access life-saving health care. The ministry says that given the predominance of the highly transmissible variants in the country, it's essential to seek medical care early and avoid home remedies that delay accessing medical care. I hope everybody hears that. I know before with the early strain, we were told, you could just take medications and be at home and it'll take the 10 days or 14 weeks to pass if you don't have a severe case of it. But it seems these are different, very different, and you trying to deal with this yourself may not be the wisest thing. And we're hearing horror stories, and I know I just this was really shocking to me. Saturday was the anniversary of the straw market fire, 20 years. And on Friday's show, I wanted to do a show with straw vendors talking about this and about the fact they've been closed, the downtown straw market, since last year, March, right? So contacted quite a few of them, including the head of the Straw Vendors Association, Reverend Esther Thompson. I spoke with her. And she was telling me I won't be able to make the show. I'm not doing well. And I'm like, oh, and then she didn't say what it was, but she paused, and I said, oh, no. And she said, yeah. And she said, yeah. I said, well, I hope you feel better. I hope we talk again soon. And I wasn't able to get anybody. I got a few responses that were quite similar to that for that show for Friday. So we had to scrap that. I mentioned it on Friday, and I posted about it on Saturday. But the shock that I received on, I think it was late Saturday or early Sunday, a message that Reverend Thompson had passed.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, this can't be
real.
Right. And it's been confirmed, and it is, my goodness. It is, and you have stories like that every day now, it seems.
All the time. We have, you know someone who either you've lost a family member or a close friend or someone that you know on more than just a casual basis.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in some way their life is being impacted, touched by this. And so be responsible is my message.
Yeah.
Be responsible, people. You know that our healthcare system is stretched to capacity. You know it.
Yeah.
We have to be responsible. We have to keep those masks on, wash our hands, socially distance, don't go to any types of gatherings that you do not have to go to. Because even when you go to gatherings, you're not staying in your car. You're walking around. We have to protect ourselves. And if everybody has that mindset that I'm just going to go places where I need to go. And if I can get stuff delivered, I will do that. I'm going to minimize this socializing. If everybody has that mindset, I'm going to keep my mask on properly, which means that it's going to cover more than my mouth. It's going to cover my nose. I'm going to wash my hands. If everybody does that, takes that mindset on and do whatever they need to do to build their immune system and just be responsible, it will go a long way.
Yeah.
We're losing people left, right, and center. And the thing about it is, what we are recognizing and understanding more and more is that sometimes, in some cases, people have long-lasting effects of COVID.
Right.
So they're out of the hospital, but they're still struggling to breathe, or they have, because of COVID, and it was so serious, it's impacted them. I know people who now have to go on dialysis after COVID. And so it isn't just, I had COVID and I'm better now. In some cases, you have the long-lasting effects of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got to be responsible.
Yeah, absolutely. The Ministry of Health saying the same thing, Laverne. They are saying, quote, members of the public are strongly urged to avoid gatherings of groups of more than 5 people, remain physically distant, at least 6 feet apart from others, Wear a mask at all times and wash your hands regularly. Additionally, we strongly encourage all citizens and residents of the Bahamas to be vaccinated. Of course, as you know, this is coming as we are seeing rallies and drive-in rallies and motorcades all over the place. And
I don't know. And it's like you see these things and you're saying to these people, come on, man. COVID's still out there. Did you forget that in your excitement, exuberance, euphoria of participating in these events that have been happening in the past weeks? Have you forgotten that there is a deadly virus out there?
Mm-hmm. Yep, clearly they have. Clearly they have. We're told in this report that the F&M hosted a drive-in rally in Marsh Harbor ahead of the event's poll, and the rally was attended by supporters who did not stay in their vehicles. A live stream of the event showed at least 24 supporters gathered in the area where the rally was being held. Some of them were not wearing masks. At one point during the rally, the moderator said, quote, "Now, Avico, I know you're excited, and I'm excited too, but I got to do this now. We got to get back into our cars." We're kind of getting the crowd. He goes on to say, "Boy, believe me, I like being in the crowd, and like our former chairman used to say, Lord, look at the people. But if they look at the people, they're going to say, you all ain't following the COVID protocols. So we got to be the responsible, law-abiding ones. I love you, bless you, but let's spread back out and get back to our cars." Oh, dear.
And that's the thing. People come and they say, you know, in theory, on paper, it sounds good to say, we're going to have these forms of rallies and, well, it'll be a drive-in and we'll just make sure that everybody stays in their car or ask everybody to stay in their car. And theoretically, that sounds good. That sounds like that's something that you can do. But the nature of people is they get excited. They want to come out of their cars because now they feel confined to the cars. So one says, well, you know what, I'm getting out. And then another one looks and says, oh, well, I saw Dwight got out of his car. I'm going to get out of my car. And then you end up with this announcement.
Have you ever gotten that excited about anything, Laverne? I don't know if I have. You remember, did you used to go to drive-in theaters?
Yes, but you couldn't come out of your car.
Well, but you would, even if you got that excited, why, how? What's happening? How you get that? Anyway. I don't, oh, okay. What's that? I hope one day to get that excited about something. I don't know what that would be. Anyway, must be nice. Must be nice. I don't understand it. Do we lose? Oh, boy. But anyway, as you said, people have forgotten. It takes over. It's like some other type of virus, I guess. Takes over their mind and they can't remember.
It's the music, and I guess that energy, and you just want to be immersed in that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, let's hear what you have to say about this, folks. Delta confirmed. Again, it's no big surprise. This has clearly been different. The doctors have noticed that. They've been saying it. They've been saying it's been younger people, children getting it. They've seen the difference. They've seen how quickly it moves, how people start with something, a symptom by the beginning of the week, and by the middle or the end of the week, they are at death's door or dead. And it is unbelievable what's happening here. And so no surprise, but what do you say? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's hear what you have to say about this. Okay, this one here. Okay, I don't know what this is. So they're saying, oh, hey, well, how about them Lakers? Well, we've got a lot to talk about. More than politics, right? Right, behaving people? There's a lot more going on than politics. This one here is
the other things, are they as much fun though? Are they as entertaining?
Right? Can they get you out your car? Can you pass out in the street drunk with the excitement from all of this. Sure. On this one here, I agree with the idea of no political talk today, but you guys are too Bianca. What is this supposed to mean? What's the word you think they meant? And allow too much garbage. What's Bianca? What do you think they meant to say? That's probably a
I
Spanish
don't
thing.
know. I
We're
can't
too
interpret
Bianca
that. Okay.
and allow too much garbage. You might want to text us back. Let us know what you were trying to say. Bianca. Okay.
Dwight, you are too Bianca.
Well, maybe that explains all the people get out of their cars and doing the stuff. Or is it, or they don't, or they're not Bianca? Is that why they do it?
No. Yeah, I think that's what it
Yeah,
is.
because they're not Bianca. But we're
Right.
Bianca. I get it.
Right.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. All right. So there's more on COVID, and now health professionals, health officials are urging pregnant women to get vaccinated as we're seeing an increase in the number of deaths of pregnant women. For more on this disturbing story, take a listen to this report from our Giorgio Bain.
Healthcare systems overwhelmed by the COVID-19 pandemic and fragile immune systems of pregnant women are leading to a startling increase in maternal deaths in the region, according to Director of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Carissa Etienne.
So far, more than 270,000 pregnant women have become sick with COVID in the Americas, and more than 2,600 of them, or 1% of those infected, have died from the virus. Most countries in our region have already reported more cases and deaths among pregnant women this year than in all of 2020.
During today's PAHO press briefing, Etienne said the pandemic is threatening to set the healthcare system back 20 years, despite advancements in preventing maternal deaths.
COVID-19 has become the leading cause of maternal deaths in 2021. For the past 3 decades, Latin America and the Caribbean struggled to reduce maternal mortality. And now the pandemic threatens to wipe away 20 years of hard-fought gains.
Etienne recommends that all women beyond their first trimester get vaccinated.
PAHO recommends that all pregnant women after their first trimester, as well as those who are breastfeeding, receive the COVID-19 vaccine.
Reporting for Guardian Radio News, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Okay. Boy, yeah. You know, there was a lot of apprehension about this initially, but we're hearing more and more doctors saying they think they're seeing too much of this now. Dr. Dwayne Sands talked about this a few weeks ago, and clearly we have to change that. This is very disturbing. Too many stories I've heard in the last few weeks about this, people losing these mothers, and it's very, very, very sad. But yeah. All right. So let's talk about it all again. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, somebody's saying they think the texter might have meant to say biased. Biased. You think that's what it was? I agree with the idea of no political talk today, but you guys are too biased and allow too much garbage. Okay.
I'm going to stay with Bianca. I like that. So until the texter texts back.
It's Bianca.
It's Bianca for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, my goodness. Wow. All right. So, yeah, that's what's happening there. And again, continue to call us and text us, tweet us, Facebook us about this. Okay. So that's in the news. Then the other big story is the BPSU threatening to shut down the airports and PMH. This again, PMH. Right. Practically on the eve of the election. This is where we are here. Take a listen to what's happening in this report from our Bethany McDermott.
We need the money now! We need the money now!
Dozens of discontent workers from the Public Hospitals Authority and the Airport Authority showed up at the 66 Steps today.
We giving them today. We giving them today. And let me tell you something. I'm going to say the same thing the president of BPL said. Let the chips fall where they may.
Bahamas Public Service Union President Kimsley Ferguson called on officials to meet their demands or face the disruption of operations at Princess Margaret Hospital and Lyndon Pinling International Airport.
If it takes shutting down to get these things done, then that is exactly what we intend to do. They did something for BPL, they're going to do it for these people. And so their services are just as significant or even more significant than that of BPL.
Ferguson said the union has been faced with issues dating back to 2015.
Well, there's hazard pay for these persons who have to come in contact with COVID-19 patients. That's been outstanding for a number of years. There is promotions. There are a number of issues. There are salary increases. And so uniform allowance. The persons at the Airport Authority haven't had uniforms in 5 years. What do you expect the people to wear, blue jeans and t-shirt?
Now, one by one, employees from the Public Hospitals Authority and the Airport Authority stepped up and expressed their concerns. They all say government could have done a bit more.
It is past. It is very bad. And the government minutes got to do something. Ms. Beach got to do something.
We were not at any time off during this pandemic, yet we are disregarded. We are overlooked. There's a promotional exercise that we're still waiting on. There's incremental payouts that we're still waiting on.
We need medical insurance. The doctors and nurses have their medical insurance. But why can't the lab, why can't the phlebotomists, why can't the med techs get radiologists? Why can't we receive our medical insurance?
Ferguson said they reached out to the authorities to address some of the issues, but they weren't happy with the response. He also shot down claims that actions by unions are stunts ahead of the general election. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Well, you can shoot it down as much as you want. It doesn't mean that it isn't true. It absolutely is a stunt. Come on now. It's very clear. And this is terrible. We know, yes, this is a great time to try to get those things, but to these threats, these things at this moment, the problems we're seeing in this country, and just as we are trying to get a handle on the economy with the tourism sector, to threaten the airport and the hospital when it's struggling so hard. I mean, what? Come on now, really? Yes, you deserve all those things you talk about, and you fight for it. But this is not the way and the time. No way. No way. Maybe I'm being biased, though, folks. Tell me, or Bianca, tell me what you think. Laverne, what's your views on this?
I do not support the threat, but I also look at where do we get to this point. I'm not in support of those threats because you know our situation, what's going on in the healthcare right now. And so for them to have even more limited staff or to not be able to carry out their duties, it's going to impact everyone. But I will say this. At this crucial time in the country when we are so dependent on our healthcare system, take care of your healthcare workers, all of them. If you take care of them, these kinds of things won't need to happen. We don't need to get to this point. Why are we at this point? So while I don't agree with the threats, I really don't. And I don't want to see that happen. The government, whomever, has a responsibility. Take care of these people, especially now. Even if you weren't taking care of them before, even if you weren't meeting their needs, providing the uniforms or the other things that they need, or health insurance. You know, the healthcare workers are asking for health insurance, some of them. Even if you weren't doing it before, you look at your healthcare system now and how we are so reliant on all of these people. Take care of your people.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Cannot argue with that. You have to. It shouldn't have gotten to this point. It should never get to this point. But we do need everybody to, I'm just saying, Come on, man. Come on. I know you think you could wring something out of that stone on the last day before it's locked, the key is locked away or something. But this is crazy. This is crazy. Again, you might not feel that way, folks. Tell us what you think. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's get your views in on that. All right, so text messages here. Unions are the worst. The elections were called early to try and circumvent these hogs, who every time before elections, they go on a money grab.
Strong words.
Yeah, it might be a little too strong.
Yeah.
I mean, that does apply to some, obviously, but some are trying to get what they've been promised.
Yes.
For a long time.
And to be honest, before this election was called, we were having unions were having issues, and they were complaining and saying that their needs are not being met, and owners, employers are not coming to the bargaining table. So it has escalated, but certainly it didn't just happen because of the election being called.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's been going on, and many have been trying this. It is an effective tool sometimes, but I think this feels a little close. This one feels like, I mean, seriously, can anything be done now? I don't know if anything can be done. Just voice your displeasure, absolutely, and forcefully negotiate with the government right after the election.
Well, maybe they feel as if by saying that, they can get some movement. Maybe this is their last resort. We've tried everything.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Lavoie.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, my take on the union, right? I don't think the union is going to get much support from the public, mainly because our hospital now is to the capacity where it's already just floating. So I don't think, we understand what they're doing, but to threaten the health care at this point, I don't think so. And my whole thing about this pandemic, okay, I'm holding our government or our leaders responsible. How? When this pandemic hit this country, right, Dwight and Lavoie, right, they noticed a disease, a virus, and who is going to hit first? The healthcare system, right? Prior to this, because I know years ago my husband died of kidney failure, right? And going to that hospital was always in a disaster on a normal time. So if you know you're going to have the worst thing come to your country, the first thing you're going to look at is your health care. And looking at the situation at that hospital, right, one hospital that we have, right, and done function and crippled from that time, wouldn't you have put in provision, okay, put money, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't spend all that money on the food. They did a lot on food and so forth, right? But shouldn't you have split that up and look and say, you know what, we can need more beds, we can need more rooms, we can need to have more physicians, we need, they have a lot of nurses. Nurse is not the problem. It's the physician that they always short.
They say they need more nurses too. They say they need
more nurses, but particularly more doctors.
Right.
Common sense. Now, Dr. Sands was there, right? And I think he was doing an awesome job. But the physician who's there now, what they were talking about, what meetings they were having, just all this from the very beginning, how we get at this point, okay? Mm-hmm. I blame the persons who lead in this country. Every day they're telling these persons, oh, put your mask, do this, do that, and so forth, as if because you didn't follow the rules, you end up here. But you're responsible to make sure that they end up there and they're taken care of. You're watching video, or you may go by and you see the condition, the tent, that's horrifying, and that's an indictment on the leaders. Okay, sure enough, all around the country, persons are not all obedient and behaving and end up sick. But when they end up sick, it's your responsibility to make sure that they are taken care of. And they're not. And we should have never get this low. And even to the fact where union now are taking advantage of it. And I cry shame on the union leaders for even trying to take advantage of the situation. Because guess what? Your family member could end up going there and die because you refusing or withdrawing service because you want to hold the government, where it hurts the most. That's wrong.
And I'm pretty sure many of them can already say that. And I don't know what is causing them to think like this. This is just so unfortunate.
Okay, then. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. But there's got to be a better way. I know you're frustrated, and we as Laverne said, you didn't deserve this treatment, but this is not the way. This can't be. Can't be.
Maybe it was just an idle threat. I don't know.
Yeah, you think so?
To see if maybe they just did it to see if they would get any kind of response or immediate movement.
All right, getting some responses here. Someone says here, the same way the political candidates use election time to hustle the electorate is the same way they should expect to be hustled. We as a collective need to change our political mindset so that these less than competent people can stop their BS. All right, so that's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it. They come around defying safety protocols, COVID-19 protocols, and come knocking on your doors with 5 people and dancing in the street and allowing you to pile up on the back of a truck. And so, do use their tactics on them. That's what they're saying. Threaten them and say, we're going to stop doing this if you don't do what you promised us from that time. So go for it. Okay. Well, a threat of doing something is different from actually doing it. And I don't know. Okay. Sure. This person says, hey, in response to the call, what? The nurses are the ones doing all the work. The doctors come in for 5 minutes with the patients. We need more nurses because they're the ones actually taking care of the patients. Okay. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This one says here, okay, this is just out of nowhere. Take the COVID-19 virus seriously, especially the Delta variant. Yes, well, we've been saying that. Yeah, definitely. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning and a pleasant day to you and your co-host.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
When it comes to certain services, I consider them, I think it's essential services. I'm not talking about just attendants or food store workers. So I'm talking about the police, defense force, nurses, and so on. I thought there was an arrangement where those persons cannot really withhold their services from the public. And so usually I'm kind of wary when I hear those things, even though they ought to be well compensated and all the rest of it. Within the means of the whole financial purse of the government or whoever the employer is. But I know there was a time when I think doctors used to take an oath to take care of a person, irrespective of their financial means and all these things. And they didn't even advertise medical services.
Yeah, well, these weren't those yesterday. These are like the lab techs, and I'm not sure. I don't think these were air traffic controllers or anybody like that. But these are other, probably not exactly essential. But if they weren't working, there will be problems, big problems.
Right. So
yeah,
I think we all need to sacrifice because I think that there are many who are sacrificing. I see people walking to work, no bus routes, and where they're going, and those are people going to work for minimum wage, keeping our economy going. And So, all putting all things together, I think perhaps we can all bite the bullet. Even our politicians, or government officials and so on need to chip in and give back to help our country to stay afloat.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your call. Is that another call there? No. Okay. Messages. More of your messages. Somebody says here. Okay. My goodness, the hospital staff, the people who's been the lifeline during this COVID crisis, where did it go? Every day risking their lives. Why put them through this? From time the health care has been disgruntled. Come on, meet their needs, government. Make it happen. This person says here, U.S. President Biden is about to reset the COVID strategy by laying out a 6-point plan, which includes mandates. Should be interesting. Okay. These people need their money or shut it down. Okay. When they destroy everything, where do they think the money will come from? Out of our collective butts? Wow, that's okay. If you give them $1 million, they will want more.
Possibly, but is your solution to give them nothing? And then that way they will act as they've threatened?
This one here. Can bars and liquor stores be open today between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m.? On polling days, I don't believe they are allowed to. I don't believe they are. You'll be okay. Be okay. This one, civil servants are the most ungrateful workers in this country. They never once received a pay cut or reduced hours during the pandemic like the rest of us in the tourism sector. Their union leaders should know better. That's a very interesting point there. That's going to be the first thing that government officials will say. Oh boy, don't do this. This person says, no politics means no Anton. We should do this every day. You've just summoned him.
No, that comment was very Bianca, and I'm not in support of that.
Oh boy. This one says that last caller was absolutely correct. I've been saying this from after the second wave subsided, that we should be using that time to beef up our medical care. Rather, nothing was done. It's like deliberate negligence. Rather, only a vaccination agenda was pushed as if this is the only solution to ending this so-called pandemic. At this point, I'm really discouraged and just about feel that the way things were handled should be viewed as treason. My goodness. Okay. This one says, Dwight, you say you're voicing your displeasure. Just voice it, and you really think something will happen? For goodness sake, just take care of your health care providers. Yeah, I'm saying that has to happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just saying at this point, I don't know the purpose. This was only going to hurt people. If you do what you say you're going to do, shut down the airports and PMH. At this point, at this time, I don't think there's much that any government can really do with just days before the election. You wouldn't want to be a part of that either, right? And for that to be the topic of discussion throughout the next 4 years in the House of Assembly, the last minute deals were made. Yes, don't stop talking about it, right? Continue to fight for what you deserve. Absolutely. I'm saying to threaten to shut down the hospital and the airport at this critical moment is unconscionable, it seems. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, as it relates to the union, I just want to give some advice to the leaders of these various unions, including the hospital, but all of them. You've got a pool of resources, right? People pay you dues every single month to represent them. These dues sit for, maybe they use to pay your salary. you got membership, and you got people with specialized skills and knowledge. Why don't you leverage these money to invest in these items, structured facilities, that will give you more leverage to negotiate? So, for instance, Hubert Minnis has the Star Care building that's rented out to the Public Hospital Authority. Perhaps the union can build a facility and take that contract from it. Or Sunshine Insurance has the contract to buy to it. Perhaps there are options that you can do to position yourself to buy ambulances and lease those to the government. Now the returns on those investments could pay your members their insurance benefits that they want. Maybe it could get you a board seat, so when you can now negotiate for your members as a shareholder rather than just as a beggar with your cap in hand. Stop thinking that striking and locking down and protesting is your only means. Leverage the big body of people that you have, all of resources that you have, and become interested in private.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's great advice. Thank you very much.
Those are some great points. I hope if any union execs are tuning in that they took note. That was, I wasn't able to hear all of it because I don't know, something went off as this audio, but those are some great points.
Yeah. We got to be a little more creative.
Right.
Sure.
And great strategy.
Yeah, because you're not going to win the support of the public. Not everybody. It's going to be a lot. As a previous caller said, that when your family is stranded, desperately needed a flight out of the country for an emergency purpose or something, and or at the hospital and couldn't get the help, that's not going to go over well at all. I'm sure you. Come on now, right? Although not everybody's agreeing here. This texter, as we get ready to go to the break, this texter says, Dwight, you're being biased. Kimsley Ferguson has been in this battle with government for a long time. I listened to him on the radio, the station after radio station, with their union pleading with the government for these workers. He didn't just start this battle. The government found money for what they want. Millions of dollars wasted on the hotel in Grand Bahama. This government has no compassion for the workers in the country. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that this tactic may not be the best way to deal with the issue, right? That's all. This one says here, they ain't making no sense. There's no government at this point, so this is a political act at the expense of people's lives. I don't support this stunt. It looks bad. What kills me is the government changes, changes it quiet. What? The government, I think you're trying to say the government's quiet. Well, I'm not sure what you're saying. But yeah, we do get what you're saying, most of it. Why don't we just borrow another? That's a lot of zeros. It's a whole bunch. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like about another million. Is that a million or a billion? What is that? To pay these unions. Boy. This one says here, it's the worst kept secret that we are where we are and doing what we're doing when we are doing it because the country has no money and the government needs a new mandate to borrow at somewhat reasonable rates. Pre-COVID, we were running huge deficits. Then essentially the entire tourism product closed for months. Then throw the union demands on top of this. The next government will be tasked with getting blood from a stone. And this person, Dwight, a lab tech is not essential. Try having an operation without having your blood work not done. You heard what I said, right? That it's not going to be deemed as an essential worker, but it is. You can't function without them. And, but yeah. Someone says, I don't know that it's fair to automatically place all the blame on the unions. Is the timing questionable? Yes. What do our leaders expect when these critical employees are ignored and brushed off constantly? Every 5 years, we guarantee our leaders great insurance, salaries, and perks galore. Why wouldn't Bahamians that keep our country expect the same? I support them wholeheartedly. Okay. All right. And this one says, was any politician salary cut during this pandemic? Well, you know the answer to that. All right, so let's take that break. When we come back, we're going to connect with Urca and Carlton Smith and talk about, is it a muzzle that's on talk media and all of media, all on these polling days, what's behind it and what we need to do if you really want to change it. We're going to get into that and a lot more on this Thursday morning. Advanced poll day. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get a loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. Add an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
7:37 the time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening. We've got heavy traffic and real-time traffic on Mile Butler Highway from just north of Fire Trail. You'll notice that in the northbound lanes up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road looking a lot better for you as an alternate route this morning in the northbound lane. Elsewhere, Blue Hill Road, the building traffic just north of Soldier Road. In the northbound lanes to Independence Drive. You'll see that there. Closer you get to that roundabout. Further south on Blue Hill Road, you've got heavy traffic northbound near St. Vincent Road and building traffic on Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road at this hour. Elsewhere, we've got some heavy traffic on Charles Saunders Highway near some of the schools in the area where we know they are doing the advanced poll. So good luck if you're in that part of the island. And elsewhere, Marathon Road, heavy traffic northbound at this morning, also near some schools there. That's what we're seeing so far. We'll have another real-time report for you just after the 8 o'clock news. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, Banking Reimagined. And time for another check of your weather for today. Here's what's happening. We've got high pressure producing light winds over the islands, while moderate sea swells are impacting the north and eastern shorelines of some of the islands, especially Atlantic exposed islands. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along East Coast beaches, and boaters should be alert for waterspout or funnel cloud activity. And again, everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activity and remain hydrated, as we're expecting another day with triple-digit heat indices. For all areas today, your forecast calls for partly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperature-wise today, look for highs getting up to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. The heat index in triple digits, as we said, up to 105 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In the tropics, we have Hurricane Larry out there in the Atlantic. Bermuda Weather Service radar showing rain bands approaching the island. And Larry just now about 240 miles east-southeast of Bermuda. Larry's moving toward the north-northwest at 16 miles per hour. On the forecast track, the center of Larry should pass east of Bermuda today and move nearer over southeastern Newfoundland by Friday night or early Saturday morning, impacting Canada there. Maximum sustained winds are near 100 miles per hour. Larry should be extra tropical by early Saturday. We've got a new named system, Mindy, formed as a tropical storm. Now it's a depression. Heavy rainfall from Mindy spreading inland over southeastern Georgia and coastal South Carolina now. As of this morning, Mindy was about 150 miles southwest of Savannah, Georgia. Mindy is moving toward the northeast at 20 miles per hour. On the forecast track, the center of Mindy is expected to move over southeastern Georgia this morning and over the western Atlantic by late this morning or early this afternoon. Maximum sustained winds are near 35 miles per hour. Mindy is forecast to become a remnant low by Saturday. That's your morning blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here, ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Now that your age is not everything. Now that your kids call you for advice. Now that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Why stop? Nourish your strength and energy with Ensure. Ensure provides protein, antioxidants, key vitamins and minerals to support your immune system. Now that it's your moment to enjoy your vitality, why stop? Your life, your health, your Ensure.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
You should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation. Slime domino every occasion. If I did it over, I wouldn't change it. 'Cause this is what I love. Oh, that's what I love.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And as promised, we are talking with IRCA CEO, our friend Carlton Smith. He's joining us now live. Good morning, Carlton Smith. Great to have you with us as always.
Good morning, Dwight. It's good to be a part of your show again. It's always a pleasure talking with you.
All right. So we were talking about this code and what's required. We have quite a few questions for you, but let's let people know how this came about. So let's start from the very beginning, how this came about, and maybe we can explain why it's in place, and then we can talk about where we are right now.
So in 2009, IRCA became the regulator of the electronic communications sector in the Bahamas. That was primarily telecommunications and broadcasting. And as a result of that, they assumed the responsibility of regulating the broadcast sector that was unregulated for an extended period of time, guided exclusively by the Broadcasting Act. And so since that period, IRCA decided that there was a need, as a result of the obligation that it had to put some rules in place to govern content on the airways and to help guide broadcasters in ensuring that the issues of taste and decency and any other rules that may apply to the delivery of quality content on the airways was the guiding principles that helped in the development of programming for the various stations. Many of the people were new to broadcasting who received licenses from IRCA, and that helped to assist them in developing their content that they were going to provide for public consumption. In 2012, IRCA decided that it was going to embark on the work of establishing a code of practice for content regulation in the Bahamas. And at one point, it brought together broadcasters at IRCA's location at the then UBS House, and a significant number of broadcasters were represented. I attended those meetings at that time as a representative for the same station, Guardian Radio. And many of the broadcasters were in the room. It would be probably ill-advised for me to say that all broadcasting stations were represented, but a significant percentage, the overwhelming majority of broadcasters in New Providence at the time were represented at that meeting to discuss what IRCA saw as a code that could govern broadcasting in the country. In addition to that, IRCA issued that document for consultation and invited all broadcasters to comment on the document ahead of them finalizing the document and publishing the code for to help guide the broadcasting industry. And so the code was established in 2012, and it assisted in providing some guidance for the coverage of the 2012 general elections and the 2017 general elections. And there was always this view by broadcasters after the fact that the rules that apply to broadcasting on polling days were primitive and archaic and needed to change. Well, in 2018, IRCA embarked on a revision of the code once again, and Part 6 of the code, which addresses political broadcasts, was among the areas of the code that IRCA was considering for review. Now, broadcasters were invited once again to discuss the revisions to the code through the Content Regulation Industry Group, a co-regulator with IRCA in that space. And then there was also the publication of the document and the invitation for broadcasters to comment again on the proposed revisions to the code. No broadcaster in the 2012 initial consultation period or the 2019-2020 consultation period offered one comment on the need to revise that section.
Well, I do think we did. I think the Guardian Group did.
On the code, on the revision to, you may have issued something to IRCA, but not as part of the consultation in 2020.
You sure about that, Carl? But anyway, I do believe.
I'm almost certain about it, Dwight.
I think we vehemently we wrote about it. We said that this serves.
You wrote about it in the paper.
No, we did submit as well. We did, but I know that was not. And I remember we had meetings as well. It was not a majority view that there was an issue with the polling.
There was not a majority view by the broadcasters.
Right, not by we certainly were in the minority when we expressed how this is antiquated and unnecessary, and I do remember that. But we did write our displeasure, our feeling that this needed to change.
So I'll concede to that point. You may have made representations, but we didn't get sufficient representation to suggest that the industry wanted to change.
Right. And that is exactly how we remember it going, that we were in the minority view there. I remember one of our meetings, one of the last before when we could meet, just being very blown away by the other broadcasters who didn't see what the big problem was. And we remember saying, even on advance poll day, how we could make a case for a general election, but on an advance poll day, a referendum day, and even a by-election day, it just is mind-boggling.
Good morning, Mr. Smith. There's two questions for you. Two questions for you. The first one is, what was the initial reasoning why this code, this section, was even brought up? And then also, what can we do now at this point?
So if you knew anything about how broadcasting evolved in the Bahamas over the years, you'd know that this provision was always a part of the rules that govern polling in the Bahamas from time immemorial. And it was a practice that was adopted by ERCA because it was a part of the broadcast landscape at the time. It was expected that on polling days there would be no broadcasting of any political analysis, any political shows, any political advertising, because at the time when the initial rules were established, it was conceived that it was possible for the broadcasting content or political broadcasting content on polling days to influence the outcome of general elections, and it was applied to the advance polls and applied to election day. The broadcasters themselves, we have a group, the Content Regulation Industry Group, that could assist in bringing about the changes that they believe are necessary by first participating in the process and being committed to participating in the process of regulating the sector that they are a part of and bring these issues to the fore. You can't wait until polling day, knowing that it's in the rules, and everybody now kicking and screaming that ERCA is the bad guy. And ERCA may have established the code, but ERCA does not exclusively regulate the sector without the assistance of the broadcasters.
All right. So what needs to be done in order to change this?
What needs to be done is the Content Regulation Industry Group need to be more actively involved in the regulations that they would like to see change and advocate for that change. They've employed a regulatory manager for broadcast to give more focused attention to the broadcasting sector in regulating that sector. We have given him the mandate to ensure that there are at least 4 meetings of the CRIG held annually, once per quarter, to discuss issues of concern to broadcasters and how we address those issues through the regulations that we have. And if there is a need to change regulations, they could then recommend proposed changes to the regulation. But
right,
it
so
has
Carlton,
to go through a consultative process.
I just want to say, I've pulled up, I'm looking through my emails. I can see it here on this is the July 17th, 2019, when Guardian sent our issue with that section of the code.
And Dwight, I say I concede to that point.
Yeah.
You
right,
probably did.
Okay.
But,
yes,
but,
we
but,
have been
but
vocal
the Guardian alone
right.
is the voice in the wilderness when you have multiple state licensees out there. And we have an industry group that is responsible for assisting us.
Yeah. Can the public do anything? You're saying it's the media houses, but can the public do anything?
Every document that we issue for consultation, the public is invited to participate. We get very few responses at best to any consultation document we put out there for any regulatory measure that they're trying to put in place. The participation of the Bahamian public. We're an oral society. And we would love to get on radio stations and talk, but very few people are committed to reading these documents, evaluating the documents, researching information that may apply to what the documents are proposing, and make and respond with a counter proposal to sections of the document or to the document entirely. We give the public the opportunity to provide their feedback. All of those things are factored in to the final decision before the document is published. If there is an overwhelming majority of respondents saying this is the direction that we need to go in, IRCA would be ill-advised to issue a document with that kind of support from the public objecting to something that it's proposing and say, well, irrespective of what the public thinks, we're going to move forward with this. The public need to participate. The broadcasters need to participate if they think there's a need for change.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting some interesting messages here. People are talking about social media and Facebook and other apps like that. And what happens there? Are ads allowed to run there? And people are saying everything they want. How is that fair that can happen, but not for traditional broadcasters?
So if you understand regulation, broadcast regulation around the world, you'd know that the internet is not governed by regulations. Nowhere in the world. The major countries of the world have been grappling with how do we address the issue of content on the internet while we are trying to govern content on mainstream media platforms. Well, the best they've been able to do is to ensure that any licensee of the regulator who has a internet platform, say, feature of their broadcasting operation, the rules will apply to those stations. So if you have a social media platform, Dwight, and your social media platform today is advertising broadcast political material, you should read the code because the code addresses that. We sent out a communication yesterday reminding people to be aware of the code, Part 6 of the code, which addresses political broadcast. Take note of it to ensure that you're not in breach of the code. And so we could talk until the cows come home. If 2022 comes around, 2027 comes around, or 26, whenever we have the next general election,
right?
And we're still talking about this, then the broadcasters and the public should look in the mirror and ask themselves, why hasn't it changed?
Wow.
Because they have a role to play in changing the regulation.
Carlton Smith, we have to break for news. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I know we'd love to talk to you some more, but I know you've got to go. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. All the best.
Thank you, Dwight. Thanks for the opportunity.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at morningblend969 or facebook.com/morningblend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Coming, now at 8:24, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got high pressure producing light winds over the islands, and moderate sea swells are impacting the north and east coast shorelines as a result of Hurricane Larry out there in the Atlantic. Beachgoers should be alert for rip currents along East Coast beaches, and boaters should be alert for waterspout or funnel cloud activity. And everybody's being advised to hydrate and limit outdoor activity, as we're expecting another day with triple-digit heat indices. For today, your forecast for all areas: partly sunny, hot and humid with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Temperature-wise, look for highs getting to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but that heat index will make it feel like 105 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In the tropics, got a lot going on. We've got Hurricane Larry still out there getting closer to Bermuda, but expected to pass east of Bermuda today. Rain bands are approaching Bermuda as we speak. As of this morning, about 240 miles east-southeast of Bermuda, moving toward the north-northwest at 16 miles per hour. On the forecast track, the center of Larry should pass east of Bermuda today and move near or over southeastern Newfoundland and Canada by Friday night or early Saturday morning. Maximum sustained winds are near 100 miles per hour. We've also got Mindy now. Mindy forming overnight as a tropical storm, now down to a depression as it moves inland over the southern United States. Heavy rainfall from Mindy spreading inland over southeastern Georgia and coastal South Carolina. As of this morning, it was about 150 miles southwest of Savannah, Georgia. Tropical depression Mindy moving toward the northeast at 20 miles per hour. On the forecast track, Mindy is expected to move across southeastern Georgia this morning and over the western Atlantic by late this morning or early this afternoon. Maximum sustained winds are near 35 miles per hour. Mindy is forecast to be remnant low by Saturday. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. At 8:27 the time for your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we've got a lot of hotspots this morning, and a lot of it is advanced poll related. We can definitely tell you that. But in your real-time traffic, as usual, the hotspots, Mile of Butler Highway, from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. The northbound lanes are busy this morning. Glaston Road also busy for you just north of Fire Trail, heading up to JFK Drive. Then we've got Blue Hill Road South looking extremely busy this morning, north of Soldier Road, the northbound lanes up to Independence Drive, and then as you get closer to Carmichael Road, northbound mainly, that junction there, and further south with St. Vincent Road. Elsewhere, East Street South seeing some very heavy traffic, especially at the intersection with Bamboo Boulevard and Zion Boulevard. Multiple directions there. You want to avoid that area if you can. You definitely want to avoid Charles Saunders Highway. There's a lot of traffic there, as we suspect that's all related to Advanced Poll Day. There's some schools there where advanced polling is going on. It is a mess. Don't avoid it if you can. Marathon Road, very busy traffic northbound from the intersection with East-West Highway and Robinson Road all the way up to Wolf Road. Wolf Road's backed up a ways as well. Pretty much from the intersection with Village Road, Soldier Road, and Bernard Road, Wolf Road, westbound between there and Marathon is going to be problematic for you this morning. And that intersection is very, very busy. Elsewhere, we've got all the major intersections along Prince Charles and Robinson Road seeing heavy traffic this morning. Foxhill Road as well. Northbound to Prince Charles Drive Just a bit of traffic west of Foxville Road for Eastern Road heading westbound. And then pockets at various spots. So it's going to be a messy commute for you this morning. Keep that in mind. There's a lot going on. That's your real-time traffic in your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
You should know I'm a Bahamian from the Bahamas. It's the place you vacation. Slime domino every occasion. If I did it over, I wouldn't change it. 'Cause this is what I love. Oh, that's what I love.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Laverne Gardner. And just had an interesting talk with IRCA CEO Carlton Smith. We're going to talk about that. I know a lot of you have a lot to say, a lot of your messages coming in. You can continue to message us about that and call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, and text us. 422-4796. We're going to get back to that in just a second. Just want to say this. We're getting the first pictures and videos from our crews out throughout the country, here in New Providence and in Grand Bahama, of people at the advanced poll sites. And, yeah, okay. This is going to be a problem. 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 That's all I have to say. Yeah. Get your affairs in order, Bahamians, because some of us may not see October. Okay. Hey, listen, let's talk about what you heard with Carlton Smith there. As you heard, this is this is going to, we can't talk much about this, and it's our fault. The media and the public, right? This is what we're saying. Not IRCA, not the government or anything like that. It is us who did this. Laverne, I think you're muted if you're talking. We did that. We did say Guardian, and I think I should read this. What do you say, Laverne? You think I should?
Yes, I think you should. I won't repeat all of the wonderful things that I said. I was intentionally muted because I needed to be able to talk about what's happening right now at what's going on, and I can't do it on the air, so I had to mute myself because I needed to get it out.
Oh man, I don't. We should be thankful that we're not politically, you and I and the others like us, the few of us, but I think there's about 1,000 who aren't, eating, breathing, drinking, everything, politics and political, because I don't understand what that's all about. I mean, some of these people
If you allow it to consume you, it can take you on a very dark path, so to speak. Wow. So while I will have discussions and, I may talk about it more than once a day, what I try to do is at some point step away from everything, because it really can just suck you in, and you will always be in that place.
It's amazing.
So you have to be able to step away and know that beyond what's happening right now, other things are going on. This does not have to be your entire life. Find the beauty of the day and enjoy that, those kinds of things.
Well, I mean, there's a lot for people who in a month, well, definitely by next year, you're going to be having a hard time to reach. I mean, they might change. They may block you. They may not even have the same phone. And right? I mean, you're doing a lot for people who you won't talk to much in the next 4 to 5 years, no matter what happens. I'm just saying. Oh boy. Anyway, okay, here we go. So yeah, back to the IRCA issue. Well, the broadcasting rules issue. As I said, Guardian definitely did in our last meeting on the code. We were asked to write in our issues, and we did. We submitted that in July of 2019, and we had a meeting subsequent to that, and we definitely were in a minority there with our displeasure on this. I will read part of it. I don't think I can read all of this for various reasons, but so this is on 6.7 prohibitions on polling day. This is what we wrote. It is well past the time for us to critically examine why this code is still in effect in a 21st century Bahamas. Its existence suggests that the country is not as mature as others in the region and, more than likely, is an insult to the intelligence of the populace. Particularly as a news talk-oriented radio station, this code has been a major handicap for Guardian Radio, as it has prohibited us from fully providing a service that our audience expects of us on the very days when they are most eager for it. Additionally, on election days, when we have tried to steer clear of any discussion and analysis relating to politics, our listeners and social media followers still lead the conversations in that direction. The end result has been a situation that is frustrating and confusing for the audience and our on-air personalities alike. While we can support not reporting results or purported results of the voting in a constituency or electoral district before the close of polling stations, it would be unreasonable to expect that one constituency should hold up scheduled post-election broadcasts if the majority of polls in the country are closed and the reporting of other results. Now, that came about because, if you remember correctly, there was a major delay in one of the constituencies, the last general election, and they had to extend voting well past 6 o'clock. And as a result of that, broadcasts were scheduled on all of the major stations to begin at 6. But I think some did, but they couldn't talk about anything much because that polling center was still open, which was absolute ridiculously right? So it just messed everything up for a couple of hours. I think they were allowed to go on until maybe 8, if I remember correctly. And it really was a problem. And they couldn't report any numbers, and it just messed those broadcasts up for an hour and a half at least. And that just didn't make sense at the time. And I don't know if it's been cleared up. If we have a situation like that next week, I don't know what's going to happen. But right. we did express extreme displeasure with this. We also wrote here, additionally, we have no issue with not reporting the results of an opinion poll on an election day. This seems highly insignificant in the grand scheme of things, as it is indeed questionable why this is an issue at all. No, while we have no issue not reporting. Yeah, okay, I don't know. I think I should stop reading this now. It's going to get to some other things.
Right. But and I think you've read sufficient so that our listening audience they are aware that Guardian did oppose this very antiquated rule for what I think number 6, code 6.
Yeah, 6.7.
And so I think you've read sufficient 6.7.
Oh, there's one line here, one more line I want to read. While we hope to see adjustments in time for the next general election, we strongly suggest every requirement in this code be removed when it comes to advance polling, by-elections, and referendum. None of this should be applicable to these days when so few people, comparatively speaking, are voting. Now, of course, this advance poll is a little different from advance polls in the past. They used to be very small numbers, but now they've opened this up to a much wider number.
Whether it's small or it's big, I think that we have to give credit to the public in general, that they are not so easily swayed by a commercial. Like we've all said, for the most part, people know exactly who they're going to vote for. And I don't think listening to a 30-second commercial is going to have a significant impact. If the commercial is for a party that you're not supporting, you're not really listening to it anyway. And if you are listening to it, you're listening to it so that you can poke at it or that you can be like, this doesn't make any sense, whatever. And if it's a party that you support and you hear the commercial, you're just thinking, that's my party, that's right. So how much of an impact is it really having? I don't think that it's having any. But okay, let's just say we compromise and say we won't play the commercials. At least we should be able to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Take the muzzle off. But again, in saying this, I think we need to emphasize and to make it clear, because as a people, we do this. When we have an opportunity to affect change, we don't seize the opportunity. But then when the opportunity is gone, then we complain, oh, why this and that. So we are at this point. So what I'm encouraging our listening audience to do is to let IRCA know, if you agree with us that this really does not make any sense, let IRCA know that. And if you are in the broadcasting family, we should stand together and say, this does not make sense.
Right.
This
Absolutely.
does not make sense, and we're not in agreement with this. And I think that we should all stand together. I mean, unfortunately for me, I'm not in the broadcasting family in that sense. I have my own show and I broadcast on Facebook live 6:00 p.m. every Friday, shameless plug. But I'm going to be talking tomorrow about this. And I'm contemplating whether or not I'm going to go see, and I'm going to be talking about it. But what I'm saying is, all of the broadcasters, whether this impacts you significantly or not, even if you're not a radio talk show entirely, you play music, you do other things, everybody should say, come on, this does not make any sense.
Yeah. All right, folks, let's hear from you. Let's hear. I'm getting some text messages. They are very interesting. I want to hear your views as well. Call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, let's read these text messages. Quite a few interesting ones here. All right. Wow. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Will IRCA, I think we read that one. Eh? Will IRCA stop all my social media channels from being inundated by political ads today and next Thursday? Nope, IRCA doesn't regulate those. Yeah.
Oh.
No, but people listen. So they're saying, oh, thank you, Carlton. Here you go, having a radio host complaining, and his company never even wanted these policy changes. That's not true, and he had to correct himself, and I just read to you what we sent. We did indeed, but we were in the minority, right? We were in the minority. That was in 2019. We said it. I remember being in the meetings. I personally was in the meetings, and I was shocked to see the other media houses say, oh, we don't see what the big deal is. It's not a problem. It's just one day. I go, oh, okay. Huh. So that is not true. The other media houses did not seem to have much of an issue, but Guardian Group definitely did. This person says the broadcast code is antiquated, but it carries on because no one cares to put it in context. It was established when there was one broadcasting company which was owned by the government. Perhaps a case for influencing voters could have been made then, but these are not those days. Time for a change. Okay, you've got to help us make that change. Help us make that change. And pressure some of your other broadcasters to be a part of the change as well. Another one here, the documents sent by IRCA requesting public response, how are these made known to the public? Well, they do advertise them in the newspapers sometimes. They advertise them on the radio. They definitely come on radio shows at times to talk about it. And they are on their website, IRCA Bahamas. Is it .org? Or .bs? Urkabombs.bs. Yeah. The radio station's already put out a disclaimer saying the views and opinions are not those of the station, but the individual's personal views. Okay, but that's not going to be enough, perhaps. Another one, not getting into the details, but have you read the court report of 3 people allegedly tortured by police in Eleuthera? I have not. No. Okay. This one says here, Carlton Smith was once a talk show host. Now that he is in the driver's seat, is he advocating changes to IRCA's election rules? I think if you heard the interview, you heard that he does. I think you can tell, right? That's not just me thinking that, right, Laverne? That he also agrees that change is needed, but it needs to come from within the industry and the public. They are not a dictatorship at IRCA. They don't just change the rules. This is a collaborative effort. Everybody has to have their input. So I hope you got that, Texter. Another one here. The constriction that the radio stations are faced with seems to be self-conflicted. Hence, musicians and entertainers must be careful that they don't constrict themselves to the same ordinances as the radio stations. Yes, we must all be responsible, but the creativity of people in all legitimate professions must not be hindered. Okay. This person here, when something finally works as it should, we have Guardian trying to go against that and have it your way against the wishes of the majority of the industry. We are in trouble now. What now? Oh, okay. So you're happy with it. You're saying that you're happy with it in the industry. The music stations, the people who play Drake, and whoever. Yeah. That. Oh, okay. Sure. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Ms. Gardner.
Hi.
I called yesterday, and but let me just ask you. I didn't hear all of the interview with Carlton, but what was the argument put forward by the majority of the individuals in regard to this?
They didn't have an issue. One day. What's the big deal? One day. Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, I'm saying what was
that was it. That was it.
Okay,
that's fine. It's fine. It's only one day.
Yeah.
It's not like elections are every day.
It's like me not wearing my clothes on election day because I work for the government and because it's only one day. It's only one day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My rights shouldn't be taken away for one day. And I think people still believe that we are on the plantation. That we are sheeple. That we can just be led. We don't have the ability to think for ourselves. We're just waiting for the master to hand out instruction to us. Come on, man. Dwight, we are far past that. We have intellectuals. We have all kind of people who are able to make decisions. As I said yesterday, most people's minds are made up, and you have a percentage of people who are on the fence or whatnot. But the majority of people will not be swayed by any ad or anything like that on election day or the day or whatever day. Because, it just, make it make sense. That's what like the DNA say. Make whatever laws you do, make it make sense.
Yeah.
One other question.
We can make a case that the ads should not play. It's possible, right? Maybe. But to stop and to hinder free speech is bizarre.
Yeah, but
if we want to talk about it, that's strange.
If you were to take a poll and ask people to call in and say how many of you were affected or how many persons changed their mind because of an ad, then you could have some kind of data or data to support that argument. But you have nothing to say that these ads are affecting the outcome of any election.
Now, you aren't going to get any agreement from me on a commercial radio station to tell you that ads don't work. That's ridiculous. Ads are very effective.
So, Mr. One other question. How, he said, for the public to agitate. can Guardian Radio mount a public national petition?
Perhaps. I mean, nothing stopping us from doing that. We probably should.
I mean, listen, let's do that. So in the next 5 years, or whenever they call election, this antiquated, myopic, and whatever kind of laws will not be in place, man. We have to change things.
Well, I tell you what, since everybody loves motorcades around here, after things calm down with the numbers, the COVID numbers, how about we organize a motorcade to against this, and let's see how many behemoths will show up
I mean,
to support free speech on election days.
I love behemoths ain't for no marching and motorcading like that.
What?
I mean,
Thousands of people are taking part of them every day, it seems.
but
so why not?
That's a different thing, right?
We don't have the draw of the big parties, eh?
But I mean,
okay.
Everybody should have a right to say whatever they want to say, and just do a national campaign against this law and any other laws that we feel that doesn't make sense. Make the laws make sense. But that is what Parliament's supposed to pass, the laws for the good governance of people. This isn't good governance at all. When you are restricting the rights of people, come on. Thank you. Sir. Have a good.
Well, okay. Well, let's be careful, though. I mean, governance is not the right word here. These are policies.
Yeah, but I mean, policy. But policies are a part of government. Like the policy that I understand is in place in a lot of these government places that tell you that you cannot wear certain colors during election time because that may impact or influence somebody. Come on, what has a color? Who gave anybody the right? Those colors were here before any political party. Come on, what whether it's the election day, election time, whatever, you can wear whatever color you want unless you paid for those people clothes. You can't tell them not to wear a certain color because you didn't buy them. Come on, make whatever things, policy that you have, make it make sense, man. Come on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your call.
I think also, Dwight, too, it really should be the public who has an outcry.
If you'd like to make a call.
Every Bahamian should be offended by this because it appears as if this 6.7 was created to protect the voter. Our minds are so fragile. Come on, you should be offended by that I can hear a commercial and be so easily swayed. We should all be offended by that. That's an insult to your intellect. And so I think that the public should have an outcry, a large outcry. But then again, maybe the public does not care. And maybe they feel like some of the other broadcasting stations that it's only one day. But to my mind, it does not make sense. It does not sit well with me. And I am saying to our listening audience, if you are bothered by this, if you've been tuning in and you understand what the code is, this is not a government code. This is a policy that was set out by IRCA, not because IRCA just wanted to do it, because everyone was given an opportunity to voice their opinions to stakeholders. But if you feel that this needs to change, this doesn't make any sense, go to the IRCA website and let them know how you feel. I will say, and it has nothing to do with this issue, that when you do go and complain or send an email or whatever on the website, they are responsive. So tell them 6.7 is very Bianca and it has to go.
I don't know if the listeners before 8 o'clock will know what that's all about there. But okay. This person says, morning to Laverne from the Hawksville High School class. They have the year. You want me to say the year, Laverne?
Of course. I look great for my age.
Okay,
I look great for my age.
High school class Hawksville 89. 89.
Yes,
wow. You want to know
good morning.
You want to know what grade I was in 89, Laverne?
I don't know if you were born yet. Were you born yet?
I was very born. but I was okay. Anyway, they say I totally disagree with this censorship on election days. Responsible analysis should be employed during polling hours. Okay. Another one
Thank
here.
you. That's a wise person. Class
Yeah.
of 89, Hawksville, greatest school in Grand Bahama, and I dare say arguably the greatest school in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Wow.
What you were saying, continue.
Right. The avenue to amend the broadcasting code as explained and regulated by IRCA appears non-pragmatic. If it is deemed that a code is archaic or lacks relevance at this instance, why not simply amend it? Thereafter, invite the public and broadcasting community to document their objection, if any. We seemingly have a culture that resists periodic examination of systems for relevance. That is very interesting. That's just not the way they work, though. They don't just change things.
They appear to be very consultative.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That is a good thing.
And so before they make changes, they tend to invite stakeholders to give their input rather than just unilaterally making a change.
Trust me, that's a better way to do it. Right? That is a better way to do it than to
So
force
the onus
things
is
on
still
people.
on us. If we want change, we have to act. What was the saying? Be the change you want to see. Well, that's usually what our issue is. We want the change, but the only way we can get the change is if we act.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not political. I just want to give myself an out.
All right, let's take this call and then we'll take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning, Ms. Gardner.
Hi.
Morning.
Yeah, Dwight, that last caller made a whole heap of sense, right? And so I just wanted to correct you. Not everybody enjoys parades. I don't have time to look at them because I'm not a conformed sheep, right? Now, I just called to put this out there. Censorship began a long time ago. It was called the Dark Ages, right? And it was also called the Inquisitions, right? So when the witches had knowledge of natural healing and other homeopathic remedies, so they sought to outlaw them. And so this is what took place henceforward, even with the Bible. And so we see it now with the medical information, right? And also remember, liberty is not given. It has to be taken. So we sitting on a sheep shouting in the north, a sheep shouting in the east. Unless we come together as a collective, we're not going to get anywhere. A nation of sheep will be gotten a government of wolves. George Orwell, in his book, said that speaking the truth in a time of universal deception will be a revolutionary act, and that's exactly what it is. All right. So, and the masses, it is always designed to keep the masses ignorant and subservient and subordinated. All right. I don't lionize any politician. I have the ability to. I heard him came on your show. Someone last week gave the demographics and how much people in the inner city is illiterate and literate or whatever, right? But everybody in the inner city didn't live in the inner city. But what I'm saying is I don't know how true it is. It could be true because I know they have a high dropout rate in some of the corners where I live. But you could actually see it because they lionize the politician, and they have kept us in the dark about many things so that we can lionize them and praise them. But like I said, liberty is not given throughout history. Check out the American Revolution. Just basically, if you're a historical enthusiast, you should know that. Have a good day, brother.
Okay, thank you very much. Hey, let's take that break, and then we'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here, ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
The Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Vern Gardner. Coming up in Morning Blend Business, we are talking insurance with CG Atlantic. That's coming up in a second. Let's read the final few of your text messages before we break for the news. Your co-host is correct. We, the public, don't care if you stop talking politics for a few hours. Okay. Well, there you go, Laverne. There you go. Okay.
Well, there you have it. But I also want to make this point before we go to the break. Your number one Grand Bahama fan just made an excellent point to me when she said, should we also remove, your words, the sticky in the ground things on the days that you go to vote, because they too may influence you as you are driving along the road to go to vote.
Take down all the billboards.
Right, that's what she's saying.
Take them
all
down.
of those be removed because they can all influence you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Every last one of them. There you go. I think you're onto something. We're going to push for that too then. If we can't get this to change, we'll get that to happen on advanced polling days. Yeah. Then maybe people will see how ridiculous this is, right? I think that's a great point. That's a great point. A couple more of these. We've got to go. This one says here, I am truly perturbed. I'm listening to your show while catching a bus ride, and someone made the comment that they don't see the big deal because we as Bahamians could care less about antiquated laws or policies that discriminate against us or stifles us. In the case of this IRCA code, they went on to say that Bahamians don't have the right to do many things as they please in the Bahamas. And the prime example is that we can't gamble in casinos and Bahamians can't open their spas, but the foreign-owned hotels can, and a few other examples. Oh, boy. Okay. Yep. So we're fine. We're fine with the trampling of the rights there. Well, okay. Well, there you go. But, hey, appreciate that bus for playing Morning Blend in the morning. So you appreciate that very much. All right, let's break for the news. When we come back, we're going to get into insurance. You don't want to miss that. We're talking with the folks from CG Atlantic. When we get back, this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money, guaranteed with DIC.
If you think you can't afford to dress to impress or replace those utensils or maybe even upgrade your household appliances, then you don't know Y-Care's Fashion Center. With 3 locations to serve you, Y-Care's Fashion Center features the things you need or want, all at a price that you can afford. Open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Y-Care's Fashion Center also has the island's largest jean collection. Put the fun back in shopping and visit your favorite Y-Care's location today, where you can afford to look good.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, September 9th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Laverne Gardner, and today we are talking about insurance, specifically life insurance, and it is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and our friends from CG Atlantic are joining us this morning to talk about this. Very pleased to welcome Zena Pratt, Jillian Gray, and Tamara Desmangles. Am I pronouncing it right? Tamara?
You are, but I am a silent
Oh,
cheerleader.
okay.
Yes.
Well, anyway, welcome in any event. Welcome in any event.
Morning.
And Jillian Gray, this is so ironic. We work with a Jillian Gray here on the Guardian News team. So, well, hey, you're part of our family, I guess. It's so
Good morning. This is another Jillian Gray.
Another Jillian Gray. And Zena, great to have you with us.
I'd just like to say good morning, Bahamas. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you at the start of Life Insurance Awareness Month.
Yeah, it is great. We're looking forward to the discussion. All right, so before we get into it, I want to talk about CG Atlantic. You know, you are the former Atlantic Medical. Tell us about that. Tell us about that change in name and a little bit about that background. That's a big move. Atlantic Medical is a household name, but tell us about that change.
Well, we did the change a few years ago to consolidate all of our group of companies. And it seems to be going very well. We had a lot of promotion going on with the new name change, and it's really becoming recognizable in the community.
Yeah, definitely. We've had some very interesting promotions. The commercials got a lot of buzz, a lot of people talking about them. But great to have CG Atlantic with us this morning. All right, so Life Insurance Awareness Month. Let's talk about that and life insurance in general. Do people recognize how important life insurance is?
Well, some Bahamians do, but we still have a challenge in the community convincing other persons about the importance of having life insurance in your financial portfolio. That's why we're reaching out to the community during this month to have these conversations with your listening audience, to remind them that this is important, especially during this time. We are currently in a pandemic where a lot of persons are looking at their mortality and their morbidity. It is top of mind at a lot of dinner conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Ms. Pratt or Ms. Gray, anyone of you, maybe explain again to people why it's so important to have life insurance. You know, some people have the attitude, and this is conversations that we have, oh, well, I'm dead. That's somebody else's headache. Why do I need to have life insurance? But also, and I don't know if you do that, maybe you can also explain to them how they can benefit from having life insurance even while they are alive.
Absolutely, we will get into that. But one of the things I want to talk about, think about this as we go through our lives. We plan for everything. We plan for vacations, weddings, sending our kids off to college and university. We even plan for our retirement. But I would like to ask your listening audience this question. How many of us can ensure our family's well-being will continue in the event of an untimely death? By ensuring your income, you are protecting your greatest asset, your earning power. And that's the reason why life insurance is so important.
That's an interesting way to put it. I don't know if people think about it like that, that you're insuring your income essentially. Talk a little bit more about that. Tell us about that concept, looking at it in that way.
And then, of course, you would want your family to be afforded the conveniences, the luxuries that you had them accustomed to while you were alive. You would still want them to be able to pay the mortgage, attend private schools, those Orlando vacations that most Bahamians like. You would want them to have the same style and type of living as if you were alive.
Yeah, definitely. So why do you think that there are still so many people who are not getting it? That this is like, as the Vern mentioned, like, hey, I'm not here anymore. You all, that's your problem now. Why are we like that? So many of us.
Well, we have quite a number of misconceptions about life insurance within our community, and I will just take a few minutes to go through quite a number of them. A lot of people believe that the application process is tedious. This is not the case because at CG Atlantic, we strive for a 5-day turnaround depending on the amount, the insured amount covered. A lot of persons also believe that if they have a medical condition, they won't qualify. But the key to it is having a medical condition that is controlled. For example, we have a lot of Bahamians who have diabetes, who are hypertensive. As long as you control these medical conditions, the possibility exists that you will qualify for life insurance. Another one is it's too expensive, but I just wanted to share a quote for a 30-year-old. For example, we have two products at CG Atlantic. One is term, and a typical 30-year-old is able to purchase $250,000 of 35-year term insurance, life insurance, for as little as $52 per month. And if a typical 30-year-old prefers whole of life, you can purchase $100,000 of whole of life for as little as $73 per month. So life insurance is not really that costly when you look at all of the other things that we purchase. Another misconception is a lot of people think they're too old and they may not qualify for life insurance. The maximum age for a person to obtain life insurance at our company is 74 years old. So if you didn't have an opportunity to purchase it earlier in your life, you still have an opportunity when you retire to purchase. Another thing is, like you mentioned earlier, is that life insurance doesn't provide a living benefit. That's not the case. A lot of people believe you only benefit from it if you die. You are able, for persons who have whole of life insurance, they're able to obtain loans from the cash values of their life insurance. And like I say, it's always better to borrow from yourself than to borrow from someone else.
Wow.
You also have surrender options, and there's also a terminal illness features in policies. So I would invite the listening audience to come call us and have a conversation. And finally, one of the biggest misconceptions is one size fits all when it comes to life insurance. This is not the case because of an individual's need. For example, a 30-year-old who is single has different needs compared to a 30-year-old who's married with children. Because the 30-year-old who's married with children, his or her risk is greater. So that's why it's important to speak to a life consultant at our company, and we are happy to complete a needs analysis with you to review your finances.
Wow. All right. You mentioned some important things there. If you have a medical condition or a terminal illness, and we know that can be challenging if you have health insurance, but with life insurance, as you say, there are some misconceptions about that. Let's talk more about that. What are there any restrictions or limitations if you do have a condition that could be terminal? What happens?
When I discuss the terminal illness feature, what I mean is that if you have a life insurance product with us and you become terminally ill and you have a policy with us, you can let us know that, call us and let us know that you are terminally ill and you have the option to cash in your policy and receive the insured amount. And that is really important because persons who are terminally ill, you have a lot of expenses. Sometimes you have to pay for caregivers, medical assistants, doctors, etc. And this helps you to put your family finances in order before you depart.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting feature that life insurance offers.
What,
you-
sorry,
Laverne?
Dwight,
Mhm.
what options do you have for someone who perhaps has a life insurance policy with you that they've been maintaining, I don't know, for maybe about 5, 10 years or even longer, but financially they've taken a hit because of the pandemic and everything, they're not working and they're unable to keep up with their premiums?
That's a very good question because a lot of persons do not reach out to their insurance representatives to make us aware that this is happening because there are surrender options. For example, if the scenario what you said, and if the person has, let's say, $50,000 or $60,000 cash values in their policy, they can surrender their policy for that amount. So there are surrender options that are available instead of just letting the policy lapse.
Right. So what we want persons to do, either give us a call or come in and let's have a conversation and we look at each case on its own merit. Don't just, decide, well, hey, I can't get insurance coverage. No. Before you rule that out, just come in or give us a call at 356 Life and let's have a conversation.
All right. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what's been happening with COVID and if you're seeing any changes in what people ask you, in what you're offering as a result of the pandemic, and has that changed anything at all?
Well, we, in our application, they don't ask us, we'll ask them if they experience COVID. Okay, and we expect you to be truthful. We'll still do the application and then it's sent on and then we will get either an approval or not. But don't just rule it out because you had COVID. Well, we can't do the application.
Yeah.
The case by case.
Are you seeing more interest in life insurance as a result of this? What are people saying to you?
Most definitely. There are a lot of persons out there who don't have insurance, who didn't think about insurance before, but now, especially since this pandemic, there's a lot of interest out there.
Yeah. Zena, I see you nodding. Yeah. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, more on this and more of what you're going to be doing during Life Insurance Awareness Month and getting that message out there about the importance of all of this. We are talking with Zena Pratt and Jillian Gray with CG Atlantic. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're going to be back after these messages. Stay with us.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
In the final look at traffic now, we can see that the morning commute is far from over at this point. It's only getting heavier with traffic out here this morning. Southwest gateways, they're still hung up. Getting out of Gladstone Road to Malabala Highway especially is really slow today. And at this time, Carmichael Road is also having minor delays exiting there onto Blue Hill Road. So Blue Hill Road at this time is virtually a bumper-to-bumper situation from Carmichael Road intersection all the way over the hill into the Tony's Million Dollar roundabout below. Now that is later, other routes activity is picking up as well. It's a bit slower now coming over Prince Charles Drive. There's more traffic heading into the city at this point using that route, so you will experience several slowdown moments along the route, actual stops along the way. Traffic congestion is entering into the Wolf Road, Soldier Village, and Burnett Road traffic light intersection, so you got a bit of slowness up in there. Then don't forget Marathon Road and the intersection there. You've got your regular traffic flows going into the city in that area. It's bungling that a bit. Remember, today is the advanced polling day, so do expect a number of delays and detours due to congestion that are being created by voter turnout, especially around the areas of the public schools that are being used for the elections today. This NASA Traffic Report this hour is brought to you by the folks over at J.S. Johnson. There, you're able to check out J.S. Johnson Online Service Center app, where you're able to view your policy details, check outstanding balances, report a claim, and more. Sign up today at jsjohnsononline.com. With the Randall Sky look at traffic in real time, I'm VANN.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance, Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
Beulah, gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood.
We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too?
Of course we can.
But we could be in deep trouble if they find out.
We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami.
So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles.
Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal.
So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. While Royal Caribbean Group's recently released environmental impact assessment stated that the project was targeting to start construction as early as next month, its vice president of private destinations, James Boink, saying developers will only move forward with construction once it has received full approval. Boink was responding to questions by Guardian Business for clarification on whether a legal challenge for the Crown land on Paradise Island in the vicinity of where it plans to develop its $110 million Royal Beach Club would delay the start of construction. Boeing says that they will start the project once they receive all the approvals and that they are not a party to the matter that's before the Supreme Court. Boeing confirming that the company entered into a lease agreement for the land on the western portion of Paradise Island, which has been embroiled in controversy as Paradise Island Lighthouse and Beach Club Company Limited. Principal Toby Smith has claimed the government agreed to lease the land to him in May. The outlook for foreign exchange inflows into the country are good and continue to improve with the growth of tourism. That's according to Central Bank Governor John Roll. His comments coming after the release of a central bank statement on Tuesday, heralding the return of the bank's depository receipts program and the approval of applications to purchase foreign currency through the investment currency market. Bahamas recently received $247.5 million from the IMF in its recent general allocation of special drawing rights to strengthen the country's foreign reserves. The central bank shortly thereafter revealed that it would reinstitute BDR and ICM October 1st. And an IDB report on controlling the transmission of COVID-19 in the tourism sector in Latin America and the Caribbean suggests that governments and tourism organizations should consider paying special attention to potential hazards in the informal economy, given that the pandemic has put so many people out of work. The IDB series recommendations to minimize the risk of COVID-19 transmission in the Latin America and Caribbean tourism sector explains that this informal trade sector is often most prevalent in the sale of food, drinks, other items, and transport. It says the situation of people who work in the informal economy has been seriously affected by the pandemic, not only due to receiving less income as a consequence of the limitations and restrictions on movement, but also when often finding themselves unable to access the offered social cover for legally established companies and workers. The report says that in these circumstances, people working in the informal economy have continued to provide their services, thereby creating a risk for themselves and other people, since they do not always comply with the required prevention measures like hand sanitizing and washing and the use of appropriate face masks. You can read more about this in today's Guardian business section. Overseas, shares falling in Asia today after further losses on Wall Street following a Federal Reserve report showing U.S. economic activity slowed this summer. The report pointed to resurgent coronavirus cases and mounting supply chain problems and labor shortages. Woes affecting many economies. Benchmarks fell in Tokyo, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Sydney. Japan extended its emergency measures to combat COVID-19 outbreaks until the end of September, as numbers of new cases have been declining only slowly, straining their healthcare system. Chinese markets have been chilled by further moves by the government to strengthen controls over online businesses that thrived during the pandemic. And in another development, ratings agencies say Evergrande Group, one of China's biggest real estate developers, looks increasingly likely to default on its debts following news reports that it will delay interest payments on bank loans. The company is selling assets to raise cash and faces complaints. It is late in paying contractors and delivering projects to consumers and customers. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday, your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 3,000 shares up 10 cents to 660. Bahamas Waste moving 100, unchanged at 825. Cable Bahamas moving 29,000, down 9 cents to 315. Doctors Hospital moving 6,650, unchanged at 825. Consolidated Water up 2 cents, closing at 244. Emir Incorporated down 24 cents, closing at 1131. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,081.17, up 14.40. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna
are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. We are talking with Zena Pratt and Jillian Gray with CG Atlantic, talking about life insurance and Life Insurance Awareness Month. And I got to ask you about this. We saw with Hurricane Dorian, that really was quite something, of course, and concerns about how the process works after somebody is assumed to be dead, but missing. What happens in situations like that? And so many families that are having a hard time getting that sorted out when it comes to life insurance. Let's talk about that, how that works, and what people need to keep in mind, especially in a natural disaster like that.
All right, Tamara, you want to take that one? She's our administrator. She can shed some light on the process for us.
Oh, see, Tamara, you weren't going to be a silent partner the whole time there. But Tamara, let's talk about that.
Okay, so as it relates to submitting a claim, in a sense, would you want me to take it from that route?
Okay, yeah, that should be fine. And just what people need to keep in mind, if it is in the case of a natural disaster and you are missing but assumed to be dead, how long it takes to clear up that matter if life insurance is involved.
If life insurance is involved, the processing, well, you would have to still get a death certificate, which is given by the courts, and you're presumed dead after 7 years. And that's just standard.
And
so in that case, if your loved one has passed due to a natural disaster, unless the court gives you the document prior to 7 years to say that they are presumed dead, you would have to continue paying that policy until that time when the court does declare them as deceased.
Oh, wow. Okay, so even up to the 7 years, if it does take the 7 years, you have to continue to... Really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that part. That's very interesting. Okay. What's people's reaction to that when they find that out?
Well, this is why we're here as it relates to Life Insurance Awareness Fund.
Yeah.
To make persons aware of the different scenarios that happen. This is even as it relates to people being missing at sea, or should, an airplane go missing or crash and there's no physical body. These are the things, unfortunately, most persons learn at the time of the event. But that's not a company policy per se. That's just standard across the industry.
Right. Right. Okay, that's good to know. That is very good information to know there. Wow. All right. Any other little things like that people aren't aware of that they need to be mindful of?
I would like to say there are some persons out there who have coverage with their employers. Okay. However, most times when they leave the employer, you cannot take the coverage with you, of course. So say the employer decides to reduce expenses and suspend cover, then that individual is still left with no life insurance coverage.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's another reason we also advise to get your own coverage.
Yeah. So in a situation like that, can you approach the company and say, I used to have this through my employer, but I'd like to continue? How does that work? Or is that what you should do?
If the individual can approach us?
Yes.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, you can easily do that. It shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. And it will your coverage will maintain. You wouldn't start from scratch, or how does that work?
Tomorrow?
I'm going to jump right in. Sure.
Okay.
All right. So how that works, it is dependent upon the agreement that the company has with the insurance company. So every employer has a different agreement as it relates to their group life and health. They may have the option we call convert to an individual plan at either time of leaving, whether it's a resignation or most times it's a redundancy package. They extend that to the client, to the employee. However, that's not the case with every employer. And also I'll mention, as it relates to group life, if you are going to the bank for a mortgage or a loan, you cannot use that group life policy to be assigned to the bank. So you still need an individual plan.
Right. Okay. All right, that's interesting. Good to know that. All right. You can text us, folks, with your questions, 422-4796. Getting some already. Here's one. I don't understand. Can you go over doubling up on life insurance? I have a term policy for mortgage, but considering a whole life or another term at 35 years old. Okay. Do you understand that question?
I'm gonna jump in. I think I get what the listening audience is trying to relate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just speak from a personal experience of myself.
Okay.
I have insurance coverage that's tied to a mortgage, and I have a personal whole life policy that's for my family. But again, like Zena and Jillian would have shared, it is a case-by-case basis. So you as the client or the individual would really need to come and sit and talk with one of our sales consultants who would be able to direct you as well in terms of what's best for you. Because you may have the $250 for your term, and you may only need an additional $100,000 for your family or yourself. If you understand what I'm saying? So it's still a very case-by-case basis. There's no one cap fits all.
Okay. All right. This came up a few weeks ago. We had representatives from the Bahamas Insurance Association talk about this and dispel this, but people are still saying it. I'm sure you all will love to dispel this as well, but people are saying that the insurance isn't paying out because of COVID and stuff like that. You're hearing things like that. And yeah, please clear that up for our listeners out there.
That is absolutely not true.
As simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's not true. So let's stop.
And yeah, it's not true. And then we have to always take the time to read the terms and conditions of a contract that you receive. That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
As far as me speaking generally for every insurance company, of course, I cannot do that. But as it relates to Atlantic Medical, now trading as CG Atlantic, that is not the case with us.
Right. And even with and people were saying that earlier, a few weeks ago as well, with the vaccines, if anything happens, that insurance won't. But that also is not true, right?
Correct. That is not true.
Right. Okay.
And these things, I always tell people, if this was the case, they will be spelled out in your policy. There will be an exclusion that says, if you have XYZ, we will not, it will not be payable. It's always spelled out. And that's why we are here. We are here to make the community, the listening audience aware. And when we speak to our clients, we always try to speak in very layman terms because we know that not every individual is in the industry. So we're not gonna use all the insurance jargon.
Right.
We are very simplistic, and we want to give the client what the client needs.
We appreciate that. We appreciate it. This one here, 20 years ago, an insurance company turned me down with life insurance because I had high blood pressure. Now my daughter's now 20 years old, and I still have a full-time job. Business for the company was good at that time, I guess. Okay, that seems strange, but is that possible at all? High blood pressure? I mean, that's almost half the population here. But would that be? Could that have been?
I mentioned earlier that it is important for conditions such as high blood pressure and diabetes for it to be managed when you apply. So like I said, and like we said earlier, it's a case-by-case basis. You may be declined at one company and accepted at another company, but we look at everything before we make a decision,
right.
Or our underwriters, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. If the primary income earner in your family passes away, what can a family do, especially with maintaining their insurance, if you end up having situations like that? What can you do there?
Could you repeat the question? Because
if your income earner, the income producer in your family passes away, what are some of the options there? to maintain insurance for the rest of the family? And maybe if you're struggling there, what can happen there?
Well, if the income earner were to pass away and he or she has life insurance, then the life insurance benefit will be paid. Usually policies are written individually. So if one person were to die and their spouse also has life insurance with us, then of course the spouse will continue paying their insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about some of your other plans for Life Insurance Awareness Month. What else can we expect from CG Atlantic? And this is for the whole month of September. Yep. All right. So tell us more about that.
For the entire month of September, we will be promoting this. We will also have virtual lunch and learns with the public, where you can join us, listen to various presentations, and for listening to us and spending your lunch hour with us, we will be happy to give you a lunch voucher to one of our local restaurants.
Okay.
So we're so sorry that during COVID, we can't have these actual lunch and learns where we come to your business and share the importance of life insurance, but we are doing it virtually this month.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. What else can we expect? What else will be going on over the next few weeks?
We will also be promoting it over the radio and I think television as well, to continue to remind people of the importance of it, especially during this time. The reality is that life insurance cannot remove the grief and pain associated with losing a loved one, but it can take away the financial stress caused by the unexpected loss, especially of the income earner in a home. It really provides peace of mind when the unthinkable happens. And it's important for us to make our community, the Bahamian community, aware of this. And this is our goal during the month of September.
This is great stuff. People do need the information, definitely. How can we get in contact with you all? How do we learn more about it? If we want to do our own research and find out about the options, the packages, the programs that you all offer.
Well, we have 4 life insurance consultants on staff. They are Mr. Rodriguez King, Mrs. Shirley Daxon, Mrs. Zena Pratt, and myself, Mrs. Chillian Gray. They can give any one of us a call at 356-LIFE, which is 356-5433, and speak to any one of us. We're always willing and able to set an individual appointment.
Okay, wonderful stuff. And again, this is great information this morning. We do appreciate it. Jillian Gray, Zena Pratt, and Tamara Desmangles, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And hopefully we'll get a chance to talk again soon.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
For having us, I'd just like to close by saying that we at Atlantic Medical Insurance, now trading as CG Atlantic Medical and Life, supports September as Life Insurance Awareness Month.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you again for spreading the information. Much appreciated. All right, we're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up on Morning Blend Business on this Thursday. Stay with us.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day, boy.
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and Gretzy.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle like he drunk all my life and junk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we have your final look at weather for this morning. We've got high pressure producing light winds over the country, while moderate sea swells from Hurricane Larry whipping up currents at north and eastern shorelines throughout especially Atlantic exposed islands. Today, beachgoers should be alert for rip currents along East Coast beaches, and boaters should be alert for waterspouts or funnel cloud activity. And everybody's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities due to triple-digit heat indices. For all areas, look for partly sunny, hot, and humid conditions with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Gusty winds and higher seas can be expected in or near showers and thunderstorms. High temperatures getting up to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius. The heat index up to 105 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. And again, we've got Larry on the Atlantic going past east of Bermuda today, but the sea swells will be affecting the U.S. and the Bahamas in the next couple of days. And we've got also tropical depression now, Mindy, impacting the southern United States. That's your morning blend weather check.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Show you love in a tidal wave of mystery. You'll still be standing next to me. You could be my luck. Even if we're 6 feet underground, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're safe and sound.
And we are back here with Morning Blood Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong with Laverne Gardner. I want to thank the folks at CG Atlantic for that great discussion this morning about life insurance. Learned some things this morning, so good to know. And I hope people take advantage of the information they are providing. Again, you can call them 356-LIFE. So, Laverne, our final few minutes this morning, and the pictures are flying all over social media of what's happening out at the advanced polling stations. I'm getting some images from where you are in Grand Bahama as well, and like I say, this is very, very disturbing.
I am concerned.
Yeah,
I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the protocols.
Well, people just have lost all control of their senses. Clearly, it's just mind-boggling to see the proximity between the people. I just don't understand it. And a lot of the big pictures, a lot of the images, the videos that we're seeing, these aren't the people who are voting. These are people who are party supporters, it seems, right?
Yeah.
And after all of this, and this is not fair, there are a lot of older people taking part in this one for the first time, older voters are able to take part in this advanced poll, hoping to avoid situations like this. And yet they are going to be right there in the face of all this. Somebody messaged us a text saying that they saw it. They were registered to take part in this, but they left because they don't want to be a part of this. They can't. They cannot. They've been trying to avoid COVID.
Right.
And they're like, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Wow. So, okay. Well, what do you do? What do you do? Like I said, we're going to regret this by next week, and the week after, by the end of September, it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary. More on what we were talking about. We're getting some of these other messages here. Wow. Really? Okay. This is a message about the code for content during this time, advanced polling days. We're not making noise. This is a texter. We aren't making noise because we don't care to hear your biased opinions. Let your host know we are offended, but it is with the garbage you guys throw out every day listening to Anton and Dwight. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
okay then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Really? Okay. Sure. Great. Well, anyway, whatever.
I'm not knocking anybody, but I do this weird thing. Like if I'm listening to something and it offends me and it disturbs me greatly, I do this really crazy thing.
That is very weird.
Yeah, I do this crazy thing where either I change the station or I turn it off. I don't know. It's a crazy. Yeah, I know, right?
You're a weirdo.
Crazy
Who does that? You got to torture yourself.
Right, but I know
every
what
day.
I don't do is continue to listen so that I'm not irritated if I think that, whatever. But I'm just saying, but that's just a weird thing. And I'm by no means encouraging anybody to do that. I'm just saying that's a weird thing that I do.
Yeah. Oh, so this is the text I was telling you about earlier. On the saying, excellent show. The advanced poll is a social distancing disaster. I had to leave. I honestly don't want COVID. So if there is a safer way to vote, please update. I'd appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know how you're going to do it.
I don't know. Maybe later in the evening.
Yeah. Maybe by mid-afternoon.
In the evening. I'm going to think that. Maybe try later. Closer to, I don't know, closing time. I don't know.
Maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, things might calm down.
Right,
People
right.
get too hot out there.
Right.
Die down. That's an interesting way to put it. But maybe they'll get too hot for people to be out there. I don't know. This is very sad. Very sad. I don't even think I'll be able to look at many of these throughout the day, these videos. But you can see it with the traffic. You can see it. People are parked up out there and impacting people being able to get around the island. I just wish we'd show this much interest in so many other things that are impacting the country. Right? Things to do with our children, things to do about crime, and to be, oh boy. Anyway, we can't be the only ones that are concerned about it, right? That will get us.
I'm sure there are other people who are concerned as well. I don't know how it can be enforced at this point, but whomever these officers are that are stationed, they need to ensure that supporters who may be under 10th, anyway.
Yeah.
Safety protocol. That's paramount.
Boy, anyway, we're going to leave that there, and that's going to wrap up the show today. Laverne, it is always a pleasure. Always great talking with you. Be safe. Be safe out there.
Absolutely.
And,
you too.
Man, we're going to talk more next week. I'll be back tomorrow morning with Morning Blend here and Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.